Hi and welcome, I'm John and this is Unique Game Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is a sneaky painting video. So basically I take some models that have been sitting there annoying me for a little while and I paint them up. So for all my regulars here guys, I feel love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so these guys haven't been sitting there for long annoying me, the Canoptek Wraiths. But what happened is, last week I think it was, or the week before, they were voted on and they were on a tie vote. Which I should have done a dice roll for, but I didn't have, they weren't even gravelled or nothing like that, so, and I was out of time, so I said, okay, I'll do them this week because I'm off this whole week, and I did the other model that won the tie vote, so this is their video now to have them painted up ready. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some steel leaves and drab and dry brush the gravel on the bases, and then I'm going to come back to you for my wet palette and everything else. Right, so I've done that. I've actually put some Eshin grey in that middle section there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you my wet palette. So my wet palette consists of polished blue, which is an old metallic blue colour, but you could use lead Belgian and just wash it down with blue afterwards. A Runelord brass, white scars, Yuthan grey, Vulcan green, Retributor armour, moot green, a little dab of corn red, and that's the Eshin grey for the base. The first thing I'm going to start with, I'm going to take some of the polished blue. Let's get this working straight away. And I'm going to start by doing all the carapace on top of him. So I'm just wandering off camera there. Now, no, don't worry, I'm not going to show you the whole of this. I'm going to do a bit of it on camera, then go off camera and do the rest. So I'm going to go off and do the rest of that off camera on all of the guys. Right, so they're all looking like this, very nice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some Runelord brass, and I'm going to, it's not a dry brush, but it sort of is a dry brush. I'm just going to brush it on the tails. I want to have that little gap in between the tails, between the body parts. So I'm going to do that on the rest of them and then come back to you again. One thing I've decided to do, let me just show you actually, I did a Runelord brass into here. I did it along the hands and the little claw bits there. One thing I decided to do is the underneath carapace is to come in and give that some polished blue, because there's just so much there. I don't want to get those little gems. I've got an idea for those little power nodes. I'm going to go off camera and do the rest, do that on all three of them. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come in with some Retributor armour. I'm going to just get these claws. And I'm literally going to brush it down because I want that little gap in between. So I'll just do one or two on camera just so you know what I'm doing. Now this will probably take 2 thin coats, I'd imagine, to get a nice coverage. But that's what I'm going for, so the little gap in the middle stays there. I don't want the gold to be, the Retributor armour to be overpowering. I just want it to be very subtle. So when you look at the model, you can see the, let me see it from that side, but you can see all the metallics start coming together. Let me show you underneath actually. Yeah. So I'm going to go off camera and do the rest of that and then come back to you again. I think that looks absolutely nuts. Right, now I'm going to come in with some Vulcan green, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pick out all of this in here Now it doesn't matter if I go over, because then the light effect that we're going to get from that moot green is going to kick in and look absolutely fantastic. I'm going to do one on camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now normally I do this bit in the middle, or these little power nodes with moot green, or the Vulcan green, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to try something a bit different. So I'm going to carry on with the rest of that. This weapon might need a little bit of touch as well. Right, now I'm going to come with some Euphron Grey. What the hell is this guy up to now? All of these little power nodes on the side here, I'm going to paint with Euphron Grey. And the power node in the middle here. I'm not even going to be nice, but I'm just going to go slap it on there. I'm trying to get all of this area here. I'm going to get these guys. And he has one little power node on his belly. So I'm going to come in and get that. Again, I'm not even going to be nice about it. I'm just going to slap it in there. No panic about anything, because the next stage is going to really tidy that up. So I'm going to do that same thing on the other two as well. Right, so I've got some, I've actually put some lead belcher onto the wet palette. I'm going to take some onto my brush, take some onto the tissue, and dry brush this weapon. I'm not 100% sure what way to do this weapon. And my regulars will know I don't really go too mad on weapons unless it's a centerpiece of a model. Like the Dark Master, his sword is a centerpiece. I don't really like to go too mad on weapons. Just because I feel they take away from the model if they're not really, if they're not a big piece of the model, like a really important integral part of the model. I don't like doing any like Space Marines bolt guns. I don't like doing crazy colours on them and crazy stuff on them. Some people do, some people work away, drill the barrels out and everything else. I just don't see the point of that. If I'm standing there with a 9mm pistol, okay, you don't see the pistol and go, oh, it's got a gold handle, it's a gold trim, yellow and black stripes over it. You just see a pistol. So that's my thinking when it comes to painting weapons or models, unless it's like something really major, like I said, like Bellacor's sword. Apart from all the detail that's actually on that sword, it really stands out on the model. Whereas this, the weapon doesn't really stand out on this guy, but he has a weapon. That makes any sense. You guys just comment below and tell me what you think about my thinking towards weaponry. Right, so now I'm going to come in with some corn red, and I'm going to pick out all of these power spots on the back and underneath of him. And I'm going to pick out his eyes as well. And there's a reason why I haven't painted his face. That's the reason. So when you look here, all you see is red eyes looking at you. Yeah? They're meant to be like beings that transdimensional locate themselves through the crypts, the Necron crypts on the homeworlds, and destroying any intruders, basically. Hence why in their game rules they can move through an enemy unit, and that enemy unit will suffer mortal wounds per one that goes through them. So I'm going to finish the rest of those eyes. Right, so what I'm going to do now is take some white scars, and I'm going to just slap it in the middle here. So in the middle of these little power nodes, I'm going to do like a little cross. I'm going to slap some across these boys. Doesn't have to be pretty against the little node things on the side of him. Just to give it a bit of white. And what I'm going to do then, I'm going to come to the one in the middle of his chest. Let's get on camera, be nice. I'm just going to do the same thing, little cross section. I'm going to go through and do that on all of them. Now I'm going to water down some green on the wet palette, like really water it down. I'm going to come in, I'm going to start with the little circle here, just push it into the lines. Now it doesn't matter if I go over the lines, because when I did the Vulcan green, that sets me up nicely for that type of effect. So I'm going to go through and do the rest of that on all of them, and then come back to you again. Right, next thing I'm going to do is some Idari Emerald contrast paint. Something I tried on something recently and I really liked the look of it. I'm going to come in, I'm going to slap it in here. Okay, so all where I put the white and the Uthin grey, I'm going to slap that on there. I did it on the warp talons is what I done it on them, which I actually really liked the look, so slap it all over his little power nodes. His little chest piece as well. I'm going to do that on the rest of them and then come back to you again. Right, so all intents and purposes, these guys are about ready. That means you can put them on the table and away you go. But I'm going to take them beyond battle ready standard. Now, for everyone that's new, that could be a dry brush, that could be a wash, that could be edge highlight, it could be a combination of all of these things. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some white scars on my wet palette and mix it with the polished blue to give me a really light blue colour. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit some raised areas and the really sharp edges. Now this isn't going to do, you're not going to notice much of this, but it is going to give it a subtle little difference. Now this tip isn't particularly necessary, but I like the look of it. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to come to the same thing again along here. Get all of the outside edge. I don't want to hit that green low because I want to have the green have the little glow effect that's having. I'm going to go off camera, do the rest of it, and the other one's the same, so it gives you that nice little blue. Right, so now we're going to do the same thing again, some more white scars, but with the Retribute armor this time. And what that's going to do is give me a really sharp, sandy, like yellow colour. And what I'm going to do, when I just get these blades, so it's going to give you that sharpness. You see the difference between the two golds. So I'm going to do that on the other two as well. And there we have it. The only other thing I could do is come in with some white scars and just highlight the green a little bit in the middle, like really water the white down and just drip it into the middle. I don't see the need to do that because that's going to just dry. Contrast paint's still wet, but it's going to dry perfectly and just look absolutely amazing. Or I could take some Niblet green. Actually, should I do that? No. Don't know, should I? No, I'm not going to. You could take some Niblet green and just dry brush across there, just to give a more emphasis on, you know, light and power source. I'm not going to. This is one of those things when you're painting models. I have the idea to do it. I'm in an hurry. I might come back and do it, but it's one of those things that I want to have a think about. You know, have a little sleep on and think about. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button because it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel in a massive way. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. I'm going to bring you down and show you some pretty pictures in a second. Everyone smash the thumbs up button so it triggers YouTube to share this video with more and more people and makes this amazing community of you guys grow even more. But yeah, bring you down and show you some pictures. Until next time, guys, take it easy.